What's up? So it is the holiday season or just after, and maybe money is tight from buying all those Christmas presents. Well, here are the top 3 games that are free on Steam right now. Hey, what's up? I'm Christopher Chaos, and right now these are the 3 top games that Steam says are the most popular, and they're free to download, so you can go to Steam on your PC and download them if you find these interesting. But this is my first time playing any of these 3 games. I've never played them. We're gonna go through a little bit of gameplay of them. I'm gonna tell you what I think about it, give you the description about it, and you can make your own judgment if this is maybe something that you want to download and try out yourself. So let's jump right into it. So coming in at number 3 on Steam is Warframe.
I see the Lotus has tried to wake you. Pity she's too late.
Warframe is a free cooperative third-person shooter video game developed by Digital Extremes for Microsoft Windows, PlayStation 4, and the Xbox One. In Warframe, players control members of the Tenno, a race of ancient warriors who have awoken from centuries of cryosleep to find themselves at war with different factions. So the game starts off with a little bit of storyline kind of stuff as to what's happening and kind of teaches you the controls. You're pretty much this badass ninja kind of guy running around, slashing people, shooting people. It really feels like you're invincible. I ran through this game for probably about a half hour to an hour, and I didn't die once. I was just beating the hell out of some dudes, just slashing them up. So it really kind of makes you feel like this really hardcore guy who's just really well trained and really awesome. So that part was really cool. One issue I had with the game was kind of the controls. There's quite a few controls in the game, and it probably just takes a little bit of getting used to, really. But you have things like the number 1 key was like your special power. The E key, I believe it was to melee, and you have like X to interact with stuff. And sometimes when you have your fingers, just over kind of the WSAD kind of area, I mean, it's not too far away, but sometimes it's kind of just awkward, if you're not used to that kind of a thing. So I had, moments where I would have to occasionally look down at the keyboard to make sure that I'm pressing the right key and all that stuff. I think it just probably takes a matter of getting used to. Maybe if you're really savvy with the keyboard, you won't have the problem at all. But for me personally, it took a little bit of getting kind of used to it, and then occasionally I'd have to look down at the keyboard to make sure I was hitting the right key. There is some kind of co-op kind of piece to it that I didn't quite get to in the half hour or hour that I was playing, because it feels like there's a lot of kind of build up towards that. You kind of have to learn the controls, learn how the infrastructure of this game works first before you can move to the co-op part. The game is a little bit confusing, a little bit complicated. There's a lot of videos I've seen online that kind of try to explain how to play this game, but there's just a lot of elements to this thing that's pretty wild and crazy, that probably takes a little bit of investment into this game to play it, and then eventually you get to a point where you're probably doing these missions, it looks like from the videos I've seen, with other people, and you're teaming up to make things happen and accomplish different goals. So if you're looking for some kind of cool sci-fi co-op, this could be a great one for you, but just kind of be aware that there is a little bit of time that has to be invested into this game to kind of understand how the kind of structure of it works and how everything kind of plays together. It is a little confusing, but if you're willing to put the time into it, it could be a pretty cool sci-fi third-person kind of action game that you can play with random people online. Coming in at number 2 for the top free games on Steam is Team Fortress 2. Team Fortress 2 is a team-based first-person shooter multiplayer video game developed and published by Valve Corporation. In Team Fortress 2, players join one of 2 teams comprised of 9 character classes, battling in a variety of game modes including Capture the Flag and King of the Hill. Now, out of the 3 games that I'm talking about in this video, this one is the one that I particularly found the most fun. This one was great. I loved it. It's very cartoony, but it didn't, take away from the action of it. It's still really cool and everything. I'm not sure which mode it was that I played in, but basically you would be on one side of the team, and one objective was to try to push this cart along these tracks into the other team's base and then set off the bomb. And if you're the other team, then you're trying to stop that team from pushing that cart along those tracks. It is pretty wild and crazy. I mean, you have some pretty wild and crazy weapons, some grenade launchers, some flamethrowers, some machine guns, and some pretty crazy looking characters and everything that makes it a lot of fun. It was a little bit challenging trying to tell who was on your team and who was on the other team. For the most of the part, you can see like either like a blue highlight around them or a red highlight around them, but in certain environments it was hard to tell if they had some kind of like a blue highlight around them or a red highlight around them. So sometimes you're just spraying and praying. I didn't notice if you could kill your teammates. It didn't seem like it. So it seemed like a safe bet to just, lob grenades and just shoot wildly. It didn't seem like you were going to end up killing your teammates from what I understood, but I could be wrong. But it was a lot of fun running around. I got a chance to play on both sides, pushing the cart and trying to defend. A really wild and crazy game. I had a lot of fun playing this one. I think definitely if you're into certain games like Call of Duty and all that kind of stuff, you'll still have fun with this one. Yeah, it's not as realistic as like Call of Duty or Battlefield or anything like that, but it still kind of has that same kind of concept, and it's a lot of fun, and it's really great for being a free game. So I definitely highly recommend this one. This one was really a lot of fun, a lot of action, and pretty cool. Coming in at the number 1 spot on Steam is Dota 2.
Let's go!
This game is actually really popular. I see lots of videos all the time on YouTube for it. They even have tournaments for like those video game league thing that they've been doing now that comes on TV and everything for the competitions and everything where people win millions of dollars, competing in this. But Dota 2 is a free-to-play multiplayer online-based arena video game developed and published by Valve Corporation. The game is a standalone sequel to Defense of the Ancients, which was a community-created mod for Blizzard Entertainment's Warcraft 3 Reign of Chaos and its expansion pack, The Frozen Throne. Dota 2 is played in matches between 2 teams that consist of 5 players, with both teams occupying their own separate bases on the map. Each of the 10 players independently control a character known as a hero that each feature unique abilities and different styles of play. During a match, a player and their team collects experience points and items for their heroes in order to fight through the opposing team's defense. A team wins by being the first to destroy a large structure located in the opposing team's base called the Ancient. So this is a strategy-based game. Now when I heard it was a strategy-based game, I was thinking more along the lines of games like Command & Conquer. It's not really like that where you're commanding multiple people and forces and stuff to do things. You're commanding your one character, which is your hero, and you'll team up with other people. The game starts off with a good tutorial if you're very new to this game and never played it, to kind of teach you how the controls work and how different things work out in the game. And it's very helpful to kind of help do some stuff. I didn't actually jump in on any of the actual multiplayer stuff. I just kind of tried out some of the tutorial things, and you can even do kind of like practice games if you want, where you can just do against computers, and you have these computers that are the other players on your team, and you can work together with the computer characters to try to accomplish the same goal you would in the online version to kind of help prep you for stuff. So it kind of gives you that ability to kind of prepare you for, actually playing with real people if this is a game you want to seriously get into. Simply right click to kind of move the character around, and right click, I believe it was, to attack, the different characters that you're going up against and everything, and move around the map and collecting stuff. I think this is kind of, geared towards specific people who are into these types of games. Me being mostly a first-person shooter and other, action games like Grand Theft Auto or other types of things like that, I wasn't quite as interested in it. But if you are somebody who is interested in these strategy games, this is a really big popular game. But most likely, if you are into these type of games, you most likely already know about this game. There's a very good chance of that. But if you don't, this is the number 1 game on Steam that is free to play and is very widely popular. So if you're into these strategy games, this is probably a must-have for you. There you go. So that's the top 3 Steam games right now that are free for you to download. If you enjoyed this video and found it helpful, make sure to hit that like button. If you're new here and you like this type of content, make sure you subscribe. I'm Christopher Chaos, and I'll see you next time. See ya.